think it's probably expected when a team is successful that there's true camaraderie in that team. And generally speaking, everybody likes each other. In business, I don't think that's the case, that everybody always likes everyone in their team. So I'm quite interested to find out from elite sportsmen Kai Horstmann and Carl Rimmer whether when they were successful with the Exeter Chiefs, when camaraderie in their team came together, and did they actually like everybody in their team? Carl, what are your thoughts on that?
Personally, I've gone through a whole career and I've never had someone that I truly found, unlikable or something like that. And I think one of the beauties of rugby sport in general is you do get dumped into an environment where most people are quite similar in their mindset. So you can usually find a common ground quite easily. But obviously, the beauty of sport is you spend such a long amount of time together during the day, all sort of doing similar things rather than at cross purposes. And also, because of the fact that teamwork is such an important part of team sports, they almost fast track the camaraderie by having quite a lot of bonding sessions, teamwork sessions, ethic, all these things that you don't really get a chance to do in the real world. They make it happen so that you can end up in that situation quicker.
That's really interesting. Kai, what are your thoughts?
Very similar to Carl, actually. I personally haven't played with a huge amount of people that I really disliked, but I've certainly been in teams where there have been cliques that have manifested itself on the pitch, and you get not a huge amount going right, really. And the teams that I found hugely successful is when you have a group of players who genuinely really care about each other and they go the extra yard, and you're able to get those percentages out of each other that you actually can't necessarily find a scientific stat for. So I know the value of it because I felt it on a playing field, and I also know the value of when it's not right.
Yeah, very interesting. Right, I'll just stop there for a minute. Taking what you've learned from elite sport then, Carl, what would you suggest businesses can do to try and develop that camaraderie and try and get where people don't necessarily like each other, still work together as a team?
Businesses have similar things. They won't necessarily have huge groups of people that just physically detest each other, but they won't invest that time in each other to find a common ground because there's perhaps no reason to. They can still perform their job without doing so. And it's so easy to do that day to day. I think businesses have a responsibility to sort of not enforce it, but facilitate it and find the area so that people can do it, whether that's just allowing the time to do it or whether that's actually providing a function. I don't know, but I truly believe, and I've actually found this out over the last year with all these lockdowns and things, how important relationships were to me. And I never really factored it in until I was taken out of a 60-person environment into pretty much working alone a lot of the time, and realizing that actually investing that time in those relationships, whether it's people you work with or for, really, really important to almost force yourself to say, right, take the time out of my day to go and find out about them. Like Kai said, it might not be scientific, but it will pay dividends in the future.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Kai, anything to add?
Yeah, I think the responsibility of the business to create a platform for employees to create friendships. I think it's very easy to overlook that and look at things about what they're churning out on a day-to-day work related, but actually what are they doing day-to-day to create friendships within your team? You create friendships within your team, you create a team. I think there's more to do that, learning about people outside of work. You can be sat at work next to someone and work with them day in, day out, but actually how much do you know about them? And it's only when you go out of that work environment and start beginning to find out about them, that's when you start caring about them.
Kai Horstmann, Carl Rimmer, fascinating stuff. Thanks very much for your time, chaps.